Hard to believe, but only 3 more midweek games left in his college softball regular season. And tonight, the Thundering Herd of Marshall come to town to take on the Wildcats. Hi, everybody. I'm Dave Baker alongside Carol Bruggeman, the CEO of the American Fast Pitch Coaches Association. Brug, both these teams lost 2 of 3, played well this week.
That's in the game, and so puts her at the top of the lineup.
Got it off the end of the bat. Will it find the ground? It does. Plotz thought about making a dive for it, but she doesn't. Plays it safe. And Marshall's leadoff hitter.
On a third base, you know, if it would have kicked all the way, you never know.
And that one's popped up to the right side. Clark gets it just on the grass, and there's one away. Ball is lifted to center, and that thing just keeps carrying. And all of a sudden, Donaldson went way back. That wind had just stopped. And I thought that was going to end up out there about where that ball did that fell.
Play, put it in play well, is going to have a lot of success.
You mean like that? That one is off the base of the wall. Lucas comes into third. Jarnley goes chugging into second with a 2-out double.
Got to, you know, continue to just a lot of positive self-talk and little adjustments to work where the ball's needed.
She went, and that's the inning. So the Thundering Herd get a couple of hits, but they strand both runners. Popped her up. That wind blowing in now. And Parks, the Lexington native, hauls it in for out number 1. Here's how. That's inside the fair line. And they're going to call that an error.
Attack the ball all the way hard to the foul line, secure it first.
And Allie Blum going looking for the first pitch, and she lines it right to Hoskins and right. And that's kind of the pop. I mean, she's had his. That's hit on a line. And what a nice play out there by Parks. Wow, did Plotz hit that on a button, but nothing to show for it, as we're scoreless after 1. Got her on 3 pitches.
Get on the other side of it, but look, they've got 16 games left in their season before the SEC tournament. Spall gets another strikeout, doesn't mess around this inning, going right at the hitters and working from ahead.
Marshall via Western Kentucky. Hit that one on a line. Plotz able to cut it off. And Parks keeps the inning going with a ticks in steal attempts. And that one is popped up to the shortstop. Once again.
Right on the button, and it goes as an out, but this is a hitter, a very important hitter in Kentucky's lineup. She needs to get back on track.
That ball got down. Boy, what a play by Parks. She had a great shot. Here comes the 3-2 pitch. The ball's hit pretty well now. Wind knocks it down, though. Caught out there by Leslie. Borzilleri unable to take. Ball is lifted to short right. Tough play for Borzilleri. She bunts, and that's going to be a tough play at first. Ball thrown away, and that's why they do it. Nice job of backing things up by Hoskins, and that prevented Borzilleri from coming on in to score. But the Kentucky
hitter runs well, has power. Just really need her to get back on track.
And ball is lifted to right and caught in foul territory by Ulrich. So nothing going for the Wildcats. They leave 2 up.
You know, to her credit, she's trying to work all of her pitches. especially against Lucas, trying to be careful, you know, that you saw the off-speed pitch. It did bounce in, but.
And Leslie. Nice bunt. Nice play by Hamilton as well. But the sacrifice works. Lucas is now in scoring position with one out. Fall issues her second walk of the inning. Man, I wouldn't be surprised if she didn't come out a second time. I don't know what is going on out there. I'm sure neither does Rachel Lawson, but Hopkins at second, Darnley at first. And she got her. I don't know whether that gets her out of the jam.
And this is a chance for Carson Fall to stretch the zone a little bit.
Boy, came back and got her. Wow, what a job by Fall. And the inning is over. I can't imagine what your travel bag looked like.
Lots of layers.
3-2 from Maynard, and they say it's outside, so the leadoff hitter.
Very selective today.
Maddie Clark, nicely done down the third baseline. And how about that play right there? They forced the third baseman to field the ball, and Hutchins, who's not known for her speed,
Then it becomes a foot race.
Perfect placement as well by Maddie Clark. Blum, boy, there's the reason she's up there in the top of this lineup now in the third spot. First pitch hitting through the left side, and Hutchins comes home, and the Wildcats lead it 1-0.
Just very mature for a freshman hitter. Gets out in front of this ball, rolls over slightly, but has enough pace on it. The infield is pulled in to try to prevent the run on a ground ball, and so this is a good combination to.
That ball is hit a long way to left center, back to the wall, and gone off the camera tower. Man, did that ball carry. Second time we've seen that happen tonight. It's a two-run shot, the 8th of the season for Plotz, and the Wildcats extend the lead to 3-0.
This was a no-doubter. This pitch left elevated and over the plate, and that is a hitter's dream. And Peyton Plotz, her patented swing, does not take a full follow-through. She is powerful and explosive, gets elevation on that ball, and it was a no-doubter over the fence, and Kentucky adds to their lead.
Borzilleri, after the Plotz homer, goes to first on a walk. Kentucky still with just one out.
Haven't found that answer. They don't really have that shut-down pitcher. They have to create outs as a group, so she's sharing information.
So Mitchell rounds out to the first baseman, Lucas, unassisted. That allows Borzilleri to get into scoring. I've seen that before. Leslie, the left fielder, took her sunglasses over to Parks in center. And now Phil Freels calls time. And the pitch clock ran out.
Pitching violation on the pitcher, and the penalty.
Or something, or is he just looking at it?
He's here in a visible ballpark. He can, and you get a feel too after a while, you know. But yeah, you're looking.
That ball is flared to the first baseman, and the inning is over. But not before the Wildcats get 3 runs, 2 hits. Yeah. That is the 4th walk plate, but
yeah.
I'd be up here.
These pitchers are having to work tonight. There's no doubt about it.
To the shortstop. They go to the middle to get one. And you saw Clark kind of double clutch a second. So right back to the pitcher. They get the one, and that'll be it. Again, everybody. Ball hops and gets away from Hamilton. That'll be a wild pitch.
Well, that's a play where Hamilton, catchers can do that. You get in a rhythm, you get comfortable, you just one more step and got in front of the ball and knocked it down. It was indeed foul, as we see another walk from the Kentucky pitching staff. But those are the little things that really add up over the course of the season and why Kentucky has been struggling.
Throw down there as well. Pulled the string on that. And the inning is over. No runs, no hits, no errors. But the Thundering Herd leave 2 more on base.
A very strong opponent out there in BU, and also going to play in Sacred Heart.
Little flare out to left. And it held up long enough for Adkins to get there. That would, boy, it looked like that Adkins was going to go ahead and be able to get it, and that ball just took a big old hop right at the end of it.
Yeah.
That ball gets through the right side. There's another base hit. Hutchins had to hold up, make sure the ball got through, and then one of the few times you see Allie got her on the inside, so credit to Jules King. The Cats get a couple of hits, but walked back in the third. Nicely handled by Hutchins, and she gets some help over at first base. To center field, and that's through for a base hit. Clark didn't get a bad jump on it. Wasn't the best. And Kelly have walked 5 between them, but they've struck out 6. And now 7. And here's Brooklyn Ulrich. That's back up the middle for a base hit. Kelly's been good. She's been to the third baseman. That time, no doubt on the throw. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, and again, Marshall leaves 2 more on.
Sometimes you face a pitcher like this who throws a lot of off speed. It's a lot different pace, a lot slower than the other pitchers. You really got to let it get deep in the zone. Think about hitting it up the middle opposite field.
That ball bunted nicely. Boy, she just about beat that out. But a nice play by the first baseman, Lucas, to throw to Hoskins, who covered. Sacrifice successful. And there you. That ball is hit a bunch. Back to the track and gone. Carissa Hamilton goes deep for the Cats, a 2-run shot. And the lead is extended to 5-0.
Swing by Carissa Hamilton. She waits, she gets her front foot down and explodes. This is called being on time. She times up Emily Cole, gets good elevation on the ball. And that's the second home run tonight for the Wildcats, and they extend their lead.
Emery Donaldson goes after the first pitch. And it's hauled in. Boy, that ball's hit a ton, and it's pulled down the line and left. Cut off out there by Leslie, but she couldn't control it. And so that's a 2-out.
Pitching staff, and we just went through various things about each pitcher, and I said, you have a feel? Another base hit and another RBI here for Kentucky.
They try to throw through, and Hutchins sees it, goes to second.
Lawson was telling her, you know, get in the box in so many words.
And there's a shot that'll go to the wall. Clark turns it second, chugging for third. Here's the throw, and I think she beat it. She beat it with a great slide and got the hand in on the backside.
The opposite field, keeps her barrel up high, lets the pitch travel, and keeps her hands strong through the zone on that high pitch. Not a good angle taken by Hoskins out there. She goes directly to the ball instead of drop stepping, and Maddie Clark had her mind made up. By the time she hit that ball, I'm going for 3, and she makes it. Again, Whittington's been working her in that outer half.
That was the 8th pitch of the at-bat, and it's lined out to right. And the inning is over. But not before the Wildcats get 4 runs, 4 hits, no errors, and they leave 1 out on the left field wall. Parks hit it on the button and hit it over the head of Blum. One of the first times we've seen her fooled this year. And she walked it. First 2 aboard for Marshall in the 6th. And they'll go with a pinch runner down at first.
Nice pitch from Kelly there, down in the zone. Working from ahead. You like to see that from a pitcher. You give up a walk, what are you going to do with the next batter? And working from ahead, and now has struck out arguably Marshall's best hitter. And you've been able to get away with a lot of things, you know, just throwing it by people, or you know, not having to worry about a whole lineup.
Nice play right there. That was a hard hit ball. You saw Reisner just kind of cock her head a little bit.
Hitters, but then you get to the bottom of the lineup and you don't get in trouble.
And that ball's going to go into left field. They're going to call that an error. And that's the 2nd time tonight at least.
It's their strength. They're going to make each pitcher work. They're going to make the defense work.
And got her looking. But not before. Terry Mitchell for the Wildcats here in the 6th. That was hit on a rope. Wow. Borzilleri has reached all 3 times. And that ball is popped straight up to center. Quickly, there are 2 away.
With 2 outs,
2-0 pitch, grounded to short. Tough play. Wow. Jim Cooper wanted to make sure.
Just take the early lead and grab the momentum. Failed to do so.
That ball is a little flare to center. And it'll drop in front of Donaldson for a leadoff single. For Adkins.
With runners in scoring position, a little bit of a head scratcher because they certainly had opportunities.
That flare is fair. And then Blum boots it out there, which is rare. And that ball's still hopping around, so they'll call that a single with an error. Adkins advanced on the error by Blum. That ball is popped up to left. Tagging at third is Adkins. And that ball was a pretty good throw. But the sacrifice fly.
To control the batter, you are concerned about the base runners, but you're more focused on the batter and just getting the batter out.
Bunt back to the pitcher. Runner advances, but Lacatena gets to the shortstop, and Reisner can't get it on the backhand. They're going to call that an error on Reisner. And that will be Kentucky's 2nd error of the night, 2nd error of the inning.
It just starts with getting your body in good position. Reisner, we saw her earlier come up on a ball. We see the same thing here. Instead of staying smooth and going through the ball, she just kind of swipes it.
ball hit hard to right and in front of Plotz. Again, one of those plays that Marshall keeps hanging around. That ball is lifted high in the air. Clark settles under it, and this one is over. Marshall gets 2 runs on 3 hits. They leave a couple aboard. For the game, the Thundering Herd, 3 runs, 9 hits, 2 errors. They left 14 runners on base. For Kentucky, 7 runs, 10 hits, 3 errors. They stranded 8 themselves, Carol.
And that was the story of the game for Marshall. So many opportunities that they missed out on by leaving runners on base. But they showed a lot of fight at the end of the game. A lot to look forward to if you're Marshall in the Sun Belt. For Kentucky, it's a much-needed win. Get on the winning side of the ledger after a tough last 10 games.